There once was a story about a man who could turn invisible. I thought it was only a story, until it happened to me.
You're safe. You're at the agency.
Hey everybody, this is the 4th episode of the Invisible Man Rewatch podcast, and this week we are going to discuss the episode Tiresias, and Tiresias is a bit of a darker episode, again, kind of going back a little bit darker in the series, but it's a fun discussion. We are joined by our guest, a fellow fan of the series, Michael Crain. It was a wonderful, lively conversation, and we hope you all enjoy it. But before we get there, let's take a look at the summary and what this episode is about a little bit more. At the behest of a government accountant that believes there's more to the death of a family member, Darian and Hobbs begin an investigation that leads them to an old man that thinks that he can see the future. But what he does with that gift may be a crime. Could he be the real deal? Now, of course, that's for you to decide. We really hope you enjoy this one, and be sure to like, follow, subscribe, share, tell all your friends. Join the agency.
The podcast itself, as soon as I heard that it was happening, as soon as I saw the first episode, man, just everything started coming back, and this show meant more to me than I could possibly tell you.
Oh, really? Really?
Well, yeah, I have a couple of things that I would absolutely, I would love to tell you about. Specifically, you are the reason why at 10 years old, I was able to kick a fear of going to the doctor and getting like blood drawn and getting like vaccines and stuff like that. All of that, absolutely.
Oh, that's great. Like, that's so, you were 10. That's what I was trying to figure out how old you were.
I was 10 years old when the first thing came out, when the first season came out, and I recorded the entire show on 8 different VHS tapes and then watched them over so many times that the tape got degraded over time.
VHS. So
VHS. I had a stack of eight of them.
Michael,
Yes.
I've never done this before, but Ed is, I guess, and I don't care if you record this, like, I'm a very nervous person when I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And I have no idea what I'm doing. And Ed has been so incredible to, like, just kind of give this thing some momentum. But I have to say, Ed, I'm having a blast. Like, I love rewatching the episodes. And now to meet someone who, like, was watching those when he was, dude, you were 10.
I was 10.
Wow. That is. And how did you
did,
find the show? How did you find it?
I was a sci-fi fan. I was watching sci-fi almost every day, and when I saw I remember seeing the trailer for it before it aired, and immediately was like, we need to see this. We need to take some time aside and see this because it looked really good. Watched the pilot, and it just blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. I think as soon as it went to rerun, that's when I started doing the recording. So I watched the entire series and then recorded as much of it as I could. However, I remember being so upset when I found out that I had actually missed an episode while I was doing the recording. And so during subsequent rewatches, I found there's a whole other episode I'd never even seen before. It was, if I remember correctly, it was the one where Darian has amnesia and thinks that Arno and Viglov are his brothers.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that for the first time and it being such a strain, like, I don't remember this at all, but I've seen the entire series multiple times. and I'd never caught that episode for some reason. So it was very interesting.
It's killer. That's
The one
killer.
thing that was really nice about Sci-Fi Channel too is they would do the on Friday nights they would do the blocks where you would see 4 episodes in a row of
Mm.
I-Man, and it was something I had forgotten about until I started looking up YouTube videos and people put the commercials up, and I was like, oh man, that was good times. We were living in good times, you know.
Didn't know it at the time, but absolutely we were.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Let me ask you, Michael, I'm curious. You mentioned the VHS tapes, and of course, eventually VHS went the way of the dinosaur in a way.
Right.
But did you ever like what was your next step in your media like love of the show? Did you
In terms of, to be honest, I didn't know that there was a DVD set of the show until you had brought it up in the podcast.
oh wow.
I had somehow managed to completely miss out on the fact that there is a physical media DVD collection of both of the seasons.
No, no,
And
no,
actually,
no.
I had a question for
Nope.
you about those.
Not season 2. Season 2 never got released physically.
Is that
Well,
true?
what if-
That's true. I mean I have it, but I have a bootleg of it.
No
I mean,
kidding.
yeah. I mean, and I have them digitally. They had put them on they I don't think I want to say how I got them. But yeah. But yeah.
Enough said. Enough said.
Hey Mike, how's it going?
Hey Ed, how's it going, man?
I
Good to
like
see
your
ya.
shirt.
Oh, leering above slowly, the visage of Kermit. Yeah.
Dude, what's up?
Hey, buddy. Hey, you butt dialed me.
Again?
Yeah, I got like a minute and 50 seconds of you doing something in Costco or something. I'm like, what?
Today?
Yeah, yeah.
My bad. My bad.
I was like, what does Vinny want? And then like I get the voicemail and it's like, yeah, Costco something, like I'm reading through the transcript, like, okay, this is
Question is, Vincent, did you
Uh,
find aisle 12? Yeah.
Yes. Did you watch this week's episode? I think I sent the clip. Oh yeah. So when him and I are trying to get in to see the Tiresias guy.
Oh, right, yeah, yeah.
The clip you sent me was when you were in the phone booth.
Oh, I changed it. Yeah, that's right. It's in the phone booth and I'm attacking him.
Yeah.
And I'm strangling him. And Paul is, man. Oh, wait, Mike, did you meet Mike? Mike, did Mike?
No, I
McCafferty?
haven't. Yeah. Hey, man, how's it going?
Hey, it's nice to meet you. My name is Michael as well, and I have been a fan of this series since I was 10 years old.
Wow. Oh, that's great.
Very
10
much so.
10 years
It's,
old.
it's actually changed my life in ways that you wouldn't believe.
What?
To be
Say
fair,
some of that.
Okay, well, Mike,
Get a
Mike,
That's right.
tell him
Are we recording right now, Ed?
Oh yeah, we're recording.
Mike, tell him the first one that you told me. Not you,
Oh.
Mike. Is Mike McCafferty goes by Mike. Mike, do you go by Michael?
I usually go by Michael. It would
Okay.
probably be helpful just because it's the Mike and the Michael.
Exactly. Michael, tell him the first one you told me.
So when I was young, this is a longer story of what I actually had told you. When I was younger, I had a crippling fear of needles, going to get any vaccinations or blood drawn. Absolutely terrified of it. Soon as this show came out, all of a sudden I'm seeing my hero every week getting a shot, and no fear, no. I mean, obviously there's issues involved with that, but at the same time, it gave me somebody to kind of focus on and hone in on. So the next time I went back to the doctor, I got to the point where I realized I didn't fear the needles anymore. I didn't fear any of that. And I started getting to the point where when I would go to the doctor, I would be like, so I know I just had my vaccine, but do you want to maybe give me another one? Like I was trying to emulate my hero as much as possible. And I completely kicked a crippling fear of needles as a direct result of the show. And I'd like
Amazing.
to
Amazing.
also,
That's
again put a bit of a sweetener on the end of that is not only did I kick a fear of needles, I managed to do something with it as well. I have the Ouroboros tattoo from the show, along with
Wow.
quite a few other beautiful works of art that I have tattooed on me. And this is My pride and joy. I absolutely adore this tattoo. It's
Dude,
a bit of an updated version of the one from the show. Um, a bit of my own design, and I do have a story behind getting the tattoo that I would absolutely adore telling you.
oh my God, I can't wait to hear it. And you're here on the perfect week because
Right?
this is we all learned about this for the first time in this episode, right?
It's almost like I
This is
timed it like that.
Damn. Oh,
you're Ed, you're good. I told you right before they came on, I told you you are good, man. You are good.
he is. He's incredible. I'd love to hear it now. Are you up for it now, or do you want to save it?
So the tattoo that I have on my wrist is specifically colored 1/3 red, 2/3 green. And the reason I had my tattoo artist do it in that specific reason, or in that specific way, I should say, um, is because I have a lot of anxiety issues and things that I struggle with in the mental health spectrum. And coloring the tattoo in only 1/3 red is my way of kind of being able to look down at my wrist and say, "Oh, it's only 1/3 red. I still have time. I'm not in a time crunch. I still have time. Think, breathe, act rationally." And so it's actually been a extremely cathartic tattoo for me to have, um, and it's been an enormous help to me.
Wow. Wow.
That's great. That's great, man.
That is so beautiful, man.
I want to thank you. You guys inspired it. You guys are my heroes.
Well, we got to get you to meet the guy that wrote that, and I've invited him, and I think he'll come at some time. But he created the show, and I remember
Did he come up with this, Vinny, or no? Was he the one who came up with the
Greenberg.
snake? Yeah.
Dude, again, I'm 60 years old, man. So, but I'm giving you what I believe the truth to be, and but I remember him calling me saying, "Hey, we had to figure out some way to let the audience know where you're at what level, how close the Quicksilver, how close it could be for you to like be losing your shit and going crazy."
You
And
needed a pressure gauge.
what's that?
You needed a pressure gauge.
Yeah, and you needed right so you could control how high the stakes were. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was so brilliant. And then Shannon, the line, "Why is it a snake?" And she said, "I don't know. It just seemed." Doesn't she say, "I don't know. It just seemed right," or something like that?
It just seemed to fit.
Yeah, and I'm not really even sure what that means, but I completely agree with it. Like it seemed to make sense for this character, and wow, that is so. Well, I have to tell you, that is such a beautiful story, and I don't know if. But then I was explaining to Michael before he said anything that I get anxious whenever I do stuff that I don't know what the heck I'm doing, and Ed and Mike were what I like is being around people that kind of push me out of my comfort zone. And I don't like it. It's not comfortable, but I know that it's good for me. And this is the fourth one we've done. Is that right?
Yeah.
And like the first one, I was so nervous. The second one, I got a little less nervous. The third one, a little less nervous. And then this one, I was just excited. Like it's so fun. It's such a nice part of my routine to do this thing with you guys. And then to meet you and to know that this thing that we made 26 years ago is that meaningful to you that means a lot to me.
Thank you so much for saying that. Really.
I'm glad that you're having fun. I'm glad that you're looking forward to it. And that like I know that like last week's Mike, I hope you got to watch last week's.
Not yet. I
Okay,
just
that's
saw
fine.
your little short with Adam Nimoy. That was great.
I wanted to make sure you were a part of it. I told him how much that I knew that you would want to be there and to ask him things about TNG and Babylon 5 and everything else. So I wanted to make sure you were well represented. But it really flowed well, and it seems to be going over really well. People seem to be enjoying it.
Ed, it was a fucking love fest. Like it was like Adam like picked up right where we left off. Him and Ben Victor were like chewing it up. We're gonna hang out. Like I sent him a text afterwards. So Mike, you'll get to meet him. We'll go out and hang.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, I love it. I love it. That'd be phenomenal.
Michael had asked me about some of the cuts in the episode. He goes, "You cut some stuff," and I was like, "Yeah, I had to cut some stuff." Like we there was some stuff that had to be cut, but 'cause it was noticeable, But there was times like where you guys were trying to like, okay, we gotta get the numbers, and I don't want to put out everybody's personal phone numbers on the
Oh,
YouTube.
right.
Yeah.
But I
What,
do want to say, Adam did message me. I was gonna put it in the group chat, and I think I stopped. Oh, he had so much fun. He said everything turned out really well, and
Oh, he already watched it?
yeah, he watched it. Yeah, he already
good.
watched it
Okay.
and everything. So
Great.
well then, yeah, then that was good. If we see him, I'll tell him my Leonard Nimoy story, which is brief and funny, but I'll save that maybe for when we actually see him. So it's
Okay.
I do want to ask you a couple questions about Tiresias. Let's talk a little bit about this episode because I got to tell you, yeah, the show went back a little dark again. It definitely opened in a dark way. It touches on some stuff that may even give this episode its own thing because it's dealing with self-harm. But as dark as it may have gone again, I think this was still keeping with the flow. It was exploring the characters and getting to know them better. Some good stuff. I do have questions. First question I do have is for both of you, both Vincent and Mike. I'm curious, how many days did you have to film episodes? I was kind of curious about it when I noticed indiscrepancies in hair or lighting and stuff like that. Minor things, but it comes down to whoever was in charge of that. But how many days did it take you to film an average episode?
Was it
7?
I'm going between 7 and 6. You would know more than I did, but it must have been an uneven number because like one episode would end in the middle of the week and the other one would start like the next day or sometimes even in the middle of the day.
I think it was 7.
I think probably 7 and maybe some. Did they go to 6 the second season? I don't think so. I think it was 7.
I think it was 7. I think it was 7.
Okay.
That's a good one. The only other one I have, and if Paul would have been here, I would have been curious to hear his answer. But
Hold on, let me check to see if let me see if I.
He may be busy. He may be busy.
Yeah, I know he's really enjoying it, so I think he's shooting that movie. So
yeah. Which I did see the next day after it was weird. After he was talking about it, press started going about his movie, and I saw an article about it, and I was like, "Oh, well, that's just weird timing."
Which movie are we talking about? Lantern?
The one with Pete Davidson, the one he's filming in Atlanta.
Yeah, cool.
Scenes, pictures from the set started releasing online.
Oh, cool.
Hey, Vinny, I want to stop the bus for a second. Since we're talking about the tattoo, what was the process for putting that on? Just so I don't forget.
Yeah. Oh, you mean who created it?
Well, what was the process for putting it on your skin, and how long did it take?
It didn't work in every shot, so they only had to do it. They didn't just put it on automatically every time I went to work. It was, just like a spray tattoo. God, who was the makeup lady, the lovely woman? You remember her?
I had Raul as my makeup guy. So but wait, so what was it drawn on? Was it a decal? How was it applied?
It was painted on.
So they had to paint it on every time.
Yeah. I think they had like a stencil for it, and they spray painted it a little bit, and then they went back with like a pencil.
Got it. Okay.
Right? It was cool.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of discrepancy on what it looked like. I mean, I know mine is more, circular design with the green and the red. It's more green or more red than it is green. But then, I took mine off of, in the United Kingdom, you could buy season 1 on DVD. So I bought those because it was before we ever got them here. And they had given a temporary tattoo came with them of the Ouroboros. And so I took my design from that.
Wow.
When it comes to my Ouroboros tattoo, I'd actually taken a screenshot from the show because I'd noticed that, at least in the one shot that I had seen, it didn't look like a perfect circle. And so I had tried to draw it myself, and the actual tattoo that I ended up with was entirely my own design, and then had my tattoo artist throw a little bit of extra details into it to kind of make it its own thing, but take direct homage from the show. So I've got all the scales, the tail coming up out of the teeth at the top. I tried to keep the one thing I wanted to keep was the very specific shape of it. So it's not quite a perfect circle. It's got the crooked tail at the very end. Um, I absolutely loved the design.
Michael, do you mind if I put a picture of your tattoo on the screen to show everybody?
Please, by all means.
I
Do
still
you
have
already
the
have
one
one
from the
that I sent you?
documentary. So
Oh,
Hey, can I
fantastic.
see it
Go for
again? Michael, can I see it again? Like a close up?
Sure. Let me move my camera real quick. So let's see here. How's that?
Oh yeah, yours is much more detailed. Yours is like a
Yeah.
dragon.
Can you move your hand a little bit the other way to the, yeah, there. Perfect. Right there. Wow.
Okay.
Wow. That is really cool.
And it is actually right next to my other absolute favorite tattoo, which, to be perfectly honest, it actually is in keeping with the current episode that we're talking about. This is a anti-suicide tattoo.
Wow.
And this is well, it's now my favorite arm too.
That's really cool, man.
Everyone should have a
Thank
favorite arm.
you.
Hey,
I'll trivialize and get us back into the episode since we're talking about the beginning.
Oh,
The
I got
actress.
notes.
Oh, you got notes? Oh,
But,
all
but
right.
Mike, you take
yeah,
take
2
off.
pages.
No, Mike, I want to hear what you have to say.
It's all up here, man. It's all up here. This is an easy one. This is a slam dunk for me because the woman who plays the police officer is named Julie Scheimer, and she's a great friend of Sarah, my wife, and Sarah was looking for. She was the casting director for San Diego, and called her in. She came down. She nailed it, and she's been a great friend all these years, and now she works at Playtone for Tom Hanks. She's
Oh,
a
that's
development
awesome.
executive there.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
She was fantastic. She was
She
great.
was great. Yeah. She didn't interact with any of us, but a great meaty little role she had there. Just so, so
Yeah.
wonderful.
It
Yeah,
was
the
great.
whole cold opening was hers, and that was great. Yeah,
That felt so much. I'll say one last thing. That felt as much like an X-Files cold open as I think we'll probably see. It still feels like we're still kind of floating on the X-Files fumes. Like, okay, here's the monster of the week. Here's the thing that has nothing to do with our leads. Still really great, but I'm glad we kind of like started to cycle this out a little bit as we moved on.
I had no idea the show was going to be this dark. I remember because Cadavari was there, and then Ralph, like very tonally different. I mean, I guess not. I guess shooting a little girl is like, but this one like felt very dark, like
Very dark, yeah.
but somehow between you and Paul Ben Victor, you guys were like the ones that brought the Coen brothers. You brought the Coen brothers. I always thought you were like in a Coen brothers movie, Mike. That's what I loved about your work on it. Like it was always just dry and real and funny as shit. And Paul just had, I don't know what that guy does, but that's why I wanted to show him that clip. Like even when I'm strangling him, he's like it's funny. It's like there's a certain amount of humor. Like but as the lead of the series, I just remember thinking, what is this show? What who are we? Like what is our identity? But I gotta tell you, like, 26 years later, you see that it is the ensemble that is creating these connections and this family that really, really comes across on the screen, I think.
I completely agree. I've always felt that The Invisible Man has always been a show that's not afraid to go to places that other shows might shy away from or they might dive too far into. It was interesting to know every time that a new episode would come out, you're not really sure what you're going to get, and yet they were all consistently good episodes. Yeah, I'll admit, this is the one episode that gave me nightmares when I was a kid, more than Cadavari did.
Mm.
And at the same time, it was also a wonderful introduction to new features in the show. Again, with the tattoo, I absolutely loved the chemistry with all the different characters throughout the episode. It was fantastic.
The biggest question I got is for all of you. Do you believe in psychics? Would you have fallen for this con?
Mm. Mm.
I mean, he's not necessarily, I mean, he's a psychic, but he's also, I mean, if it's Tiresias, which is, the Greek seer, I mean, he is divining from the gods. And so it's basically he's gleaning our fate, not necessarily, I mean, so I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily buy into that. I don't know about you, Vinny, if you're like an astrology guy or.
Well, I've recently become very close with a psychic. So I make a joke now that it's not a joke, but I have a psychic. She was just a person that I met that I happened to really kind of adore immediately. And then I found out she was a psychic, and she's kind of a world-renowned psychic. And I totally believe. Here's what she's helped me with. We're all psychics. We all have intuitions. We all know more than we think we know. And she told me that, and I've heard that before, but I think it might be true. Like I mean, do I think could this guy tell the future? I don't know, but I do believe in something like that. Yeah.
I think that's all that matters is it doesn't matter what you believe as long as you believe in something. And that's what gets us through.
I'll sidebar. When the show was on, when our show was on, it was also on the Sci-Fi Channel. Maybe you remember this video, crossing over with who was that
Oliver.
guy?
That guy was totally believe that guy.
Yeah.
Although I have bad news. My friend who's a psychic knows that guy.
Yeah.
And says
no, he was totally.
He said it's tricks. She said it's tricks.
Yeah, he would listen to the audience beforehand. But people love that show. Like that show was so. I mean, it's like crossing over with John. Was it John Edwards? Yeah, John Edwards.
John Edwards.
Yeah, that's it. Edwards.
Huge ratings on the Sci-Fi Channel. Such a weird thing. But as we talked, I was like, oh my god, that show was crazy. And
what happened to that guy?
Whatever it is, it shouldn't have been a surprise to him, right? He should have known it. But
see it coming.
But that dude, like, he would be like, I'm feeling someone over here, someone with the letter J in their name, the letter J. Oh, you have someone who's departed, father, mother, brother, right, and I'm feeling that they died, something. I'm like, oh my gosh, do we not all? It was a wild grift, but people loved him.
Yeah, I just got a text from Paul. Paul said, "Very sorry he can't make it. He's got his hands full right now."
It's all right. We look forward to everything he's doing.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
Vinny, what do you think?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I had another thought. This was a really weird one. It kind of ties into the psychic and the dreams and stuff. A lot of this episode dealt with the dreams that Darian was having and the harm that he could give Bobby. And one thing that caught my attention, and it meant nothing by the end of the episode, but like one time Bobby comes out and he's got a box of Dunkin' Donuts. First of all, product placement, which caught my eye, and I thought, how did you guys get through with that? And then in the dreams, though, the donut box had no writing on it, and I thought, okay, well, this maybe I'm going deep, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe it's because in dreams you can't read, words in your dreams, and No, it was just because at the end he was going to have a pink box that was going to be plain. I think they could have went deeper, could have went a different direction with it, and I read too much into it. But the Dunkin' Donuts sponsorship, I don't remember there being Dunkin' commercials during the show. Is it just like guerrilla filming and like, hey, we had this box and that's how it went?
I didn't notice that. I just remember the pink box. You mean the first time?
Yeah,
He,
first time, like,
I noticed that too. I bet you part of the answer is that the show, even though we see it now at whatever is it, 720 or something, back then it was broadcast in 480. You are not reading that on a 480 screen. It's just going to be so pixely. It's so
oh,
much smaller and just like because I saw it too like when I watched, I was like, oh, it's a Dunkin'. That's really interesting. Plus, we were always cooking so fast, right? And he's like, oh, yep, good for camera. Let's go. We couldn't find the pink box. Someone got a Dunkin' Donuts box. Let's go. Worry about it later.
yeah, yeah, we moved pretty fast. And I just remember being jealous of the invisibility effects because they seemed to get way more time than we got in our performances. Like we only did 2-3 takes, right? And then we were moving on. Is that your memory?
Pretty much. It depended on the director, but yeah, we tried to keep it going mostly. Just like someone like Michael Grossman knew how to clip along.
Yeah.
Some other dudes, some of the younger ones, they would take their time. Or
So
they
let's
would.
talk about this director. His name, what is it? Boris Damas?
yeah,
Is that it?
Mm.
Boris Damast. That's how I pronounced it. Damast.
This is what I remember. He wore a hat, and he didn't talk very much, and I had no idea where he was from. And I guess he had made some pretty great movie. But then I don't think it matters. So Bill McGoldrick, who you went on to, work at Universal, then went to ended up launching Peacock as a pretty big executive. Invisible Man was his first job, so he was the junior executive, and we're friends, and we see each other occasionally. And he said it was his first job, and he would take the dailies home, and he would watch them because he loved watching me and Paul.
Oh, wow.
He didn't know what we were going to do, and he said something like, "And this fucking director comes in, and he does nothing with the camera." And so I think Bill had to call him, and the guy was like a reputable director, and this young junior agent had to call him and say kind of nicely, "Could you do something a little more dynamic with the camera?" And I don't know if you remember, I think it was kind of a fuck you to this director, to Bill McGoldrick. I actually think this is super interesting, but maybe you want to cut it out.
No, I don't want to cut this, but I will if you tell me.
No, you don't have to cut it out. The director, listen, it's 26 years ago. People are still upset about this. That says more about them. The director's like, "Yes, I just received a call." He had an accent. Didn't he have an accent or something, Mike?
I don't remember. I go ahead though. Yeah.
Anyway, he said the director wants to. Bill said he told him to get more movement, and so Bill was talking about move the camera. The director said, "In this next scene, I would like you to come in and just keep moving around in a circle, and I'll keep the camera where it is." So I think he was sort of doing a fuck you to Bill McGoldrick. But it ends up being kind of, there's a scene where Eddie and you are in the table, and I come in kind of amped up, and I'm moving around you in a circle. And that was
Those
all
are
because
great.
this director was, I think, trying to say fuck you to this young up and coming junior executive, Bill McGoldrick.
That would have to be my two highlights. Had to be the times when you kept walking in, and the official and Eberts would jump and cover everything. Like, don't look
incredible.
at this. Like, just the best timing and ever all the way around there. And Mike, your character Eberts, just like you can knock. Just love it, love it. So good and so unspoken hilarity. in this episode.
Yeah.
This
And no, Mike, you go.
well, I mean, there's this show had the darkness that you're really handling, Vinny, but then this is one of the funnier episodes beyond the pilot, I think, where we start seeing some of the characters, I mean, and some of that comedy, some of that Office Place comedy started to happen. And Robert Romanus, who was the GAO guy,
He
um,
Damone.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High, he was, and that
Last
kind of,
time the Ridgemont High. I mean,
Yeah.
legendary, right?
yeah. Yeah, so there was like the seeds of it were starting to happen, and there were some really funny lines in this. And I went back and was like, I could have done better at that, could have done better at that, because I hear how funny those lines are. There was some good stuff. Even with your stuff, the hot donuts thing is just such a weird like curveball, out of a really dark, unfunny show. It was fun to watch this one to see that splitting, but yeah,
And who wrote Peter Hume wrote that?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
Peter
three people
Hume
listed.
and Josh Cook.
I never met those guys. I thought the script, it's so fun to go back and look at something so differently than like I really enjoyed the writing. I thought the writing was really good. And I thought the directing, I thought that hot donuts and the whole sequences, like I thought it was visually really fun to watch. And then what you're saying, Mike, that's the tones where you had this kind of dark storyline, but the Invisible Man family, the agency family, was starting to sort of meld and sort of say, hey, we can have a plot line, whatever the plot line's going to be, we're going to be doing this and expanding those characters.
Yeah,
It's a good mix.
yeah. I don't think I'll be like I think the stuff Tiresias is saying gets a little repetitive towards the end, but I think the comedy in this episode is great. I think
What part gets repetitive?
when Tiresias keeps on reminding you over and over and over again that you've got to kill Hobbs or Hobbs is going to kill you. It's like, dude, man. And you say shut up twice, and Robert or Bobby says shut up, like, and that's when I was like, some like they missed some. There was some. There need to be like two more beats to that story, because there's like,
Right.
you've got to kill him, otherwise he's gonna. I mean, like,
My
you
God.
say shut up. So,
But
Something probably left on the floor in the cutting room floor.
Mm.
One thing I really did like was the fact that the Tiresias thing was never mentioned by name. It was on. I'll be honest with you, until doing the research for this episode and learning about that, and it never dawned on me about the character that Odysseus goes looking for in the Odyssey, and the stuff like that. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that back then. To me, it was just some word I couldn't pronounce. And
Right, me too. Me too.
I think I remember it from my Greek theater days. But have you guys seen the Odyssey yet?
I did, yeah.
Tiresias is in there. He crawls out of the muck there. He's
Oh,
the guy
really?
with like, when he goes to the dead, he goes to like, it's the black sand, and he crawls on and he's licking the blood.
Yeah. I kept
That's
thinking it was the John Leguizamo character because they had the same eyes as the
Oh.
guy in this episode. But not that's who's that? Who's John Leguizamo in the Odyssey?
Mentor, isn't his name Mentor?
Mentor. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
No,
go see this.
I thought it was really incredible and like bloody impressive. Like the effects and the story and the cast. I thought it was fantastic. And it got me I was up the next morning like Googling what is the Odyssey. Like I'm Michael, these two guys know I'm trying to learn how to be a writer. And so a lot of the people said, this is like an old story, so it must be pretty good, right? So I kind of went back in and started pulling it apart, and really interesting,
2,700 years old, I believe, is the date on the Odyssey.
Well, and he told it like he never wrote it down. Evidently it was just an oral story,
Right.
So this, but he was a blind dude. Is that true, Homer?
I didn't know that. I've
Tiresias.
never heard that.
No, not Homer. It's Tiresias And Tiresias goes back to another. I mean, Tiresias is a person of lore.
He was a blind prophet in Greek mythology.
Yeah, and I thought he had stuff to do with.
Tiresias, if you want, I mean, I can, I've done my research.
Oh,
If
wow.
I don't want, but no, yeah, here I wrote it down. Um, he was uh, he was known for a long life spanning 7 generations. Um, they had a gender transformation that occurred at one point when coming upon 2 snakes that were mating, hitting them with the stick, in
Oh,
which they turned him into a woman for 7 years. And then he changed back when he hit the snake 7 years later. He was blind because he had told Zeus had asked him, who has more pleasure, a man or a woman? He said, a woman. Zeus didn't like the answer, so he struck him blind, but as a gift of some sort, gave him the ability to see the future,
Whoa.
Hmm.
That's pretty cool.
according to mythology.
Greek mythology is so close to AI right now. It just like you're like, wait, what? What happened?
That's funny.
So much madness, man. It's great.
That is funny.
So,
Oh,
Vincent, you said that you were interested in becoming a writer. I'm curious, uh, have you started any projects, or are there any projects that you've wanted to work on? What kind of captures your imagination, and what gets you in that writing mood?
Well,
you've written something that you're very excited about that you hope the Invisible Man fans are really going to be thrilled once they see it, right? I mean, like whatever the messaging is, don't you think? I mean,
yeah, yeah. I mean, it has, um, like, how do I say it?
it's a spiritual successor to the Invisible Man. It has,
What did you just say? You
the
said
spirit
I like, I like
spiritual
it.
successor. Yeah, it has echoes of what we loved about the show, and it pushes forth in a brand new way that we hope all of you will find exciting. Um,
Yeah.
Wow,
Friday
that
on
was interesting.
Sci-Fi.
And we shot it and we love it. And at some point, pretty soon, we're going to start showing it to people. Um, but uh, I showed it to Mike, and he sent me a text. He's like, "Oh, it's really good." And it said it hit. One of the characters says, "I've been trying to get this thing out of me for 26 years." I say that in this new pilot, and part of what really, well, Matt Greenberg. This is interesting. Matt Greenberg, the guy who created the Invisible Man, he was one of my first acting teaching mentors, writing teaching mentors, and he said to me, "You," I said, "What do I write?" He said, "You write the thing that gets you up at 3:30 in the morning."
Ooh.
And this show kept getting me up at 3:30 in the morning, and so I just kind of went that way. So part of me doing this project is really completing. And I don't, you might not know this, but Matt Greenberg was gone after 3 episodes because so he had gone through some personal things, and he just didn't want to do the show anymore. And so I always say to him, we're friends, we get together and have drinks. I was like, "Dude, you're the one who put that show in my head, and now I got to get it out." And so that the first thing that I've ever written that has gotten made is this project. And we'll see. I'm excited. I'm really excited about it. But it's so fun to write something, to get it out. That it's that feeling like you have this thing in you, and once you write it, it's now there. Now it's on the page, and now you can try to execute it and see if anyone cares about it.
If I may say, think of it this way. Look at Homer. He created the Odyssey 2,700 years ago. Perhaps just stories told, passed down, and changed here and there, whatever the case may have been. But it gave him immortality. When you write and you create something, you're creating your own immortality. You're putting something into the universe that will live on far beyond you. And if you love it, then you can't fail.
But I've learned so much about writing. Like, I wrote so much stuff that I thought was awesome and really important that did not move the story forward, and it just kills things. Like even I was watching the episode Tiresias today, I was like, it was a tight script for the most part. It got a little redundant with the guy going on and on, but it was pretty tight. Like, this happens and then this happens, and I was like, man, like, television writers are really fucking talented. And I don't know. It's just what I love about writing is I was a basketball player. Like, I was kind of an athlete when I was younger, and I still play basketball a little bit, but I play with like 25-year-olds, and I'm like the old guy, and they're like at a different speed. And my knees, like, I'm always scared I'm going to get hurt, and there's a lot of fear. But with writing, you don't need good knees. All you need is like a pen and paper. You can do it anywhere. Like, as an actor who has, Mike can attest to this. As an actor, you're spending a lot of time hoping people pick you, and it can feel kind of shitty because you don't get picked a lot. So you're spending a lot of time in like, oh shit, I didn't make the team. It's kind of like getting cut from the basketball team for 40 years. With writing, you can write, and then occasionally you'll do something and it kind of surprises you. You're like, oh, that's pretty good. And you do need teachers and people to help you do it. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. Sure.
Did you ever find it difficult to actually sit down, write, and get it out, or did it flow naturally? And the reason I ask is because I've actually had a novel cooking in my head for about 20 years, and I can't seem to get it out of my head on paper, on something. And I'm just wondering, how would you advise somebody to push through that if they're having trouble transitioning it from strictly just being in your head to being something that somebody else might be able to read? How do you push through that?
Have you written any of it? Have you written one page?
I've written an outline. And I have a lot of the story very much locked in my head. But in terms of the outline that I've written, it's the story of Icarus and Daedalus told from the father's perspective with the sun, the wings, and everything. If you're familiar with the Greek myth, and it's a story about a father who has a great amount of pessimism versus a son who has a great amount of idealism that ends up getting him killed. And it's the trying to understand his son's point of view without the benefit of his son around to discuss with him.
Wow.
20 years. Still can't
sounds...
seem to get it on paper.
Okay, well, couple things. That's a great idea. And the first thing is, I guess Homer didn't write shit down.
That's a good point.
And then the second thing is Jordan Peele, when he was writing Get Out, he just told the story for a year and a half. He told it to people. And oftentimes when you're telling a story, you're right, you're working. Because when I'm telling a story about something I want to make, I know a lot of it really good, but parts of it you don't know so good. But when you tell someone, you can tell when someone checks out. They ask you a question you don't have an answer to, and you don't have the story, and then your mind will go to that part of it, and it will start filling it in. So the fact that you haven't written it for, I guess, 20 years is a long time. But then it comes down to, and there's a book called The War of Art. It's the inverse of the
Art of War.
Classic. Yeah. And it's written by Stephen Pressfield, who's a screenwriter. And that book, very short book, it puts you in the corner, and it talks about the resistance. Your job as a writer, resistance is built into creativity for most of us. Some artists are crazy and they can just plug right into it in there and flow. For most of us, for me, there's a resistance to it. So you have to create habits to overcome that resistance. And the dirty little secret about writing is, you just have to sit in a chair and get in front of get your ass in a chair. Like, there is a certain amount of discipline to it, but then I'm very good at self-shaming. I'm joking, but not really. I mean, I'm a big, like, don't become like an old guy that wish you had done. Don't be like, oh, I wish I had done this, or I wish I had done that. Dude, you're like a really young man now. Like, and if you have this thing inside you that you think the world needs, not to get too grandiose, but like, why, if it's there, dedicate yourself to it, and really, really don't not try.
You said to write the things that keep you up at 3 a.m, and this is absolutely one of them. And I'd like to say thank you. I've been wanting to get this down for a very, very long time, and I appreciate the support.
Yeah, and I'm lucky. I have a lot of really good teachers that I've. One of them worked on this project that the new show I wrote. I spent a lot of time nurturing how awesome it is that, I mean, I'm so lucky. Like, my career didn't go exactly the way I wanted, but I got to have a family, and I have the means that I can still dedicate myself to writing and acting and creating stuff with friends. So I can find my way to gratitude pretty quickly every morning. And I take that as a responsibility. And so if there's something I want to do, I feel like I should. And I think it's the same thing with you. And what's great is you're 35, man. Like, you're really young, but 36, but now's your time, man. Now's your time.
35. Be 35.
Yeah. And it's a great idea too. Oh, the other thing I want to say is you have to remove yourself. Like, it's not your job to decide whether it's good or bad at this point. It's just your job to do it.
That's fair.
Oh my God, I feel like I'm going off on you right here. Sorry about that. Like,
It's good advice.
Honestly, I think that might have been exactly what I needed to hear.
It's good advice. And the one thing, Vincent, you said, talking about your career and stuff, I think the one thing that I don't know if you're aware of, and I can't speak for Michael, but I can speak for myself. The majority of us, at least in the group, like you and Ben and Mike and anyone else, when you had a new project, we were following along. We were going there. Like, you went on to the Savages when you did the Savages show, Complete Savages. Great show, by the way. Kudos on that retroactively.
Mel Gibson, it was based on Mel Gibson's life, right?
I did not know that.
And he directed all the episodes. So I got to hang out with Mel Gibson for like a year. It was really fun.
And did you see it coming, Vinny? Did you know it was like, oh, that was a weird thing for him to say? Or
what did I what?
Did you see the future? Did you have a premonition of like
no, not at all. No.
Your eyes glazed over and you said you were going to say some very objectionable things in your future. It's time to turn back.
Tiresias.
Not at all. He actually was like an incredible artist. But anyway, go back to what you were talking, Ed.
But no, I was gonna say, like, too, and like, you did Purgatory Flats was a great film. I think people need to check that one out. And Dead and Breakfast. These are great films, and I recommend people check them out. Anybody watching? Check them.
That's funny, by the way. One of the producers I work with this new show, he was an PA on Dead and Breakfast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's good. And then, Mike, you did this really cool documentary called Idiocracy about the future. It was so weird.
Wait, what is it? What is it?
I'm making a really bad joke about Idiocracy and how it's basically a documentary now. It's
Oh,
you know,
yeah. Well, you
Michael,
voted them.
I want to ask you a question, and I'm really glad that you're here, and you're the first fan to step up to the plate, as it were, and
I
everything
couldn't
else.
let it
Did
be
you
anybody
have
else.
any? Yeah, and you've asked so many great questions. I want to really compliment you on that and everything else. But did you have any generalized questions about the show outside of Tiresias?
As a matter of fact, I did. I don't really know a lot about how the shows are put together, how the characters are put together, how it all kind of comes together. However, I had a question for Vincent and Mike and anybody else who creates characters and plays characters. How much of Darien, say, for Vincent, how much of Darien came from the writing? How much came from the director? How much came from within you? And as a secondary question, once you had found Darien, where does that character live within you, and how do you differentiate yourself from the character, and how do you keep it separate? How does that work? Where do these characters come from, and where do they live?
I was thinking about that today when I was watching that episode. It's first of all, it's weird to see me as, I guess, your age now, like as a young man. I I think it's mostly me. Um, it's like a version of me, as you can see. Like I'm not like he's such a smug kind of smartass. Like, and that's not me. I guess maybe it's not me. It's me. It's, I don't know. It's acting, right? Like it's a version. It's a part of me. I can be very smug, and um, a lot of it was the writing. Like, and the pilot really sort of teed that up. As an actor, you kind of, the words are the notes. Like the music, the words are the notes, and then you say them, and then as an actor, you kind of calibrate them to how it comes out of you, and then once you kind of find that place, then kind of that's the character. So it was kind of this, he used to be a punk, two-bit thief, kind of a smartass. And I'm kind of we're all got different parts of us. So I think it's a lot of it's me.
Very fascinating. Do you ever find yourself slipping into a little bit of Darien from time to time? Do you ever find yourself bringing out a little bit of that character from time to time,
Well,
maybe involuntarily?
it sounded like I was doing a little Jack Nicholson, like in this last episode, a little bit where um, I, I, I don't know. I mean, also because it was a pretty quick schedule, you don't have so much time to like try different acting things. You're just trying to remember the lines so that you can keep the train moving, so that people don't get pissed at you at lunch because we're going to go into overtime. I mean, Mike, you felt that, right? I mean, there's a certain kind of, you got to deliver pretty quickly, so you don't have a ton of time for exploration.
No, it was opposite for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you were shooting 7 days a week. I mean, and well, 7 days. So, and everyone keep this in mind. By this point in time, I think Vince's wife had had their first child, and then we took 3 days off, and that was it. And then we're right back into it. So Vinny is a new dad, and if you have not been a new dad, you're not having a baby, you're keeping one, and it is madness. And he's down in San Diego, a brand new town for him with his wife and a new kid. And he's exhausted, and so he was just being battered. And the other thing too is that this.
You're
Go
right.
ahead.
You're right, Mike. Because it looks like this guy's about to go crazy. That's what you're saying. That I was kind of method acting. You mean I was sort of stressed out? Is that what you mean?
Well, to a degree, this is something you guys don't know also, is that a lot of times when Darian's eyes are red, that wasn't contact. That was just Vinny. He was just sleep deprived and
Yeah.
no, but you were so deep in the soup. You were just being, I mean, you by this point in time, Matt was off, no showrunner, scripts coming in, rewrites because I remember you were telling me like I'm like, how you doing, Vinny? He's like, man, I'm doing the show 5 days a week, and then Saturday, Sunday, I'm learning the script for the next episode. I have to sit there all day. I got a baby in my arm, and it's just madness, madness for you. You were just, and this show, unlike a lot of shows you see now, like there's when you talk about television structure, there's most shows have A story, B story, C story, D story, E story, however many stories. If you watch The Pit, it's got, K stories. And this gives us a place to cut to most of the time. Now, in this episode, we cut to Tiresias or what, back and forth, just get some time jumps, but then it's always back on Vince. And that's how especially the first season was. Back on Vince, back on Vince. Same thing for the old Star Trek show. So he never got any sleep and he never got any rest. So you were just acting off of instinct. I would imagine, each scene was like brand new to you. So
Well, and also that with Tiresias, I don't know if you knew this. The show was about to shut down for, I guess it was at least 3 days, because we had no executive producer. They were frantically trying to find someone to come in after Matt. It was Valerie and Vivian Mayhew, and then they left, or
they left, and then
David Levinson.
David Levinson and
David Levinson had come
David
on.
Icke. Did David Icke come in too, or was that later?
David Icke was part of the original development. He was the executive. Okay. David Icke worked with Matt Greenberg actually to create the show. And Matt Greenberg really credits David Icke with the tone and the feel of what this Invisible Man is. He told David Icke was a big executive at USA Network, which was owned, they were Universal owned USA and Syfy. And I think Matt kind of pitched a few ideas. They were going to redo a version of the Invisible Man. And I think Matt turned some stuff in, and David was like, no, just go further, like really go further. And then Matt gives him, it was like a 60-page Bible on what this show is. And I don't know, did you ever see it, Mike? The Bible?
No, I think I did. Yeah, there was all sorts of stuff.
And it's very, very in depth.
Interestingly enough, I was going to ask you if there was ever a show Bible like an hour ago when we started this. That was one of my questions, was if there was a Bible, because Michael had asked about, the characters and stuff, and that made me think about that. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up, and I'll get permission from Matt, because I can find it for a future episode, or maybe I can let you guys take a look. It'd be kind of fun because Craig Silverstein, who was just hired on the show, I had drinks with him, like 4 years ago. Oh, it must have been 5 years ago. I remember as we were in a bar and the Ukraine war had just started. So I guess that's 5 years. Is that 4 or 5? And we were talking, and Craig brought up Matt Greenberg's Bible for the Invisible Man. And Craig said, I still use that as I'm developing now, that Craig considers it the best Bible for a television series still that he's ever seen.
Wow.
But there's so much shit in that Bible that we couldn't do, or we didn't do, or we never got to.
Are we talking like technologically couldn't do, or because of standards and practice?
What was it? It was storylines. It was tonal. It was tone stuff. It felt like, let me relook at it and I'll be able to answer that better. But I just remember thinking, why didn't we do that? Why didn't we do that? Why didn't we do that? And I just figured it's what Mike said, man, you're just going pretty fast. Yeah. And I did want to point out that the show is about, I think David Levinson is credited as the executive producer for this. But to be clear, he came on after we'd already shot these first 3 episodes, and he went back and re-edited them. You guys know how that works, right? Like a director directs an episode, the director gets to stay with the editor for 3 days. They turn in an editor's cut, but it's the executive producer who determines the final cut. So he went back in and recut. I know he recut Ralph and he recut Tiresias. But David Levinson, rest in peace, was the guy that was just coming into our world. And I think we all owe him a lot, because I don't think we would have stayed on for 47 episodes if it wasn't for him, because he was kind of the only adult in the room. Like the rest of us were just having fun and fucking around. And he harnessed that and made sure we had scripts to shoot. And I'm grateful that he did become part of the show.
Speaking of messing around and such, Eddie Jones looked like he was having a hell of a time in this one.
Wow.
He just seemed like he was having fun.
Yeah.
Mike, can you attest to that? You had all the scenes with him.
I did. And I'll finish up the thought there. We were talking about, like, Vinny was always so inundated with, shooting. I shot for one day pretty much every episode for the first season, because that's, we'd come in, we'd roll, we'd do all the office scenes, and then we'd be out. So, but what I did is I read all the scripts. Whenever Vinny would show up, I was like, hey man, what the hell is this episode about? So I'd be kind of on set, you do this, this, and this. So that was kind of my little contribution. This I don't remember specifically some of this. I do remember I went back, read my notes, putting the little paper into the shredder, and that's one thing we had to rehearse a lot of times because it was a very specific thing. I remember talking to Robert Romanus, because he was just a cool dude, just a laid back guy.
Oh,
Eddie was such a stoic guy, a very sweet person, but not a person who would talk a lot. It's he and that's fine. I mean, but he was just kind of kept to his stuff. But man, watching him on camera, holy mackerel, just everything he delivers, just such gold. But I was always over his shoulder. I get to watch him act and then watch you guys act. And that was amazing. I don't remember specifically anything of him doing anything during this episode, but his timing was really great on this. And well, I do remember when I put the paper in there, I said, "Oh, Eberts, what are you doing?" Like playing into that kind of, can you believe that? This guy, he had all the skills. So it was just so much fun just to sit right next to him. But again, he'd go out and have a cigarette break and drink a Diet Coke and roll back in and do his scenes. So it took a little while to break him down. I finally got to him, but
he did. I think he knew we all just admired him so much. Like what he brought, man. I mean, in watching the episode today, like I'm good when we have this sort of mano moment, and I'm good, but I'm kind of reaching. Like I'm good. I'm very good. Not trying to diminish, but he's in it. He's there. His experience as an actor is just the gravity of how and where his lines come from. Like he was just incredible. Like and his face. But you're right. I really can't. You make a good point. Like I don't remember like shooting the shit with him at all. Like
it took a while, and you're right about that. Man, he was such the core. We all circled around him.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't play, and I was thinking so much about when you said Ronnie Cox was going to play this role, was going to play Eddie's role. That just blew my mind. And I just started role playing the role of Ronnie Cox. And Ronnie Cox is a great actor, great actor. So different. Eddie had stoicism in that, like, I'm not going to give you shit. Like, you can't get into me, but I can get into you. But then when you guys started to tweak his nose a little bit, it was so much fun, and he let it be.
Yeah.
Ronnie Cox, as an actor, as a performer, he might have tried to be like, well, I'll get one up on them, but Eddie used to sit back and say,
you're right.
I'm going to be the straight man on this. And that was such a gift for all of us.
You're right. Did you guys see that picture of him? And I think he's with Robert Kennedy.
Robert or John? I think it's
No, John Kennedy. You're right.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you see that? That's in this episode.
I watched. Yeah, yeah. I watched ahead, and we do a bit with it. Yeah, later on. So, but yeah, he's got lots of secrets there. I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna jump around a little bit. Vinny, they burned down a house in this episode.
Did they burn down? Did you ask me? Did they burn down a house?
No, I know they did. I saw it, but do you remember like what was going on with that?
Oh no! How did they do that? They must have found a house that they were going to burn down, and somehow I was trying to figure out it wasn't a visual effect, right?
No.
I had a thought, and I wanted to ask about that too, because I wondered if it was in the original script, or was this just, hey, look, there's a house on fire. Let's film this, and then add it into the script.
We got to get Ed Ledding here.
I know we got to get him.
Is he alive?
Sarah says he is. I'll send him a message right now. So what? That was such a spectacular value. I wonder if the fire department was like, hey, we're going to practice putting out a fire, and it just happened to be like we're all rolling around there. Because otherwise, that's a huge expense. Be like, hey, we want to set this thing on fire in Southern California, and we want to have a whole bunch of firemen put that out. But
it was a raging fire. Well,
yeah.
Ed Ledding would know the answer to this question.
Yep.
Yeah, it's an interesting query. It definitely is. I am curious. Where do you think this episode falls in? I kind of like to look at it like this. Let's pretend you're introducing someone to the show that's never seen it. Would this be an episode you would say, "Hey, you got to check this one out"? This is a good introduction to the show, or where would you classify this at?
I wouldn't like it. It was not one of my favorite episodes. And as I was watching it, I was like, it's still a super solid episode. And I like how it's kind of weird, but I think it's a little confusing if this was someone's first episode. I think it would be a little confusing. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Michael, what do you think? Where do you rank this episode?
Well, I would say that this is, again, one of the darker episodes within the series. And if you were to jump through the pilot and you get the kind of baseline of the show, you immediately go into Cadavari, which is another dark episode. Honestly, if I was going to start anybody off with an episode, it'd be Ralph. That would be the first episode, because it is 100%. It has so much about. It goes into all of the different locations, all the different tones, and it kind of strikes a really good balance between the dark and the light. Whereas this episode has always felt oppressive to me in a way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't say it better than that.
I haven't watched this for a long, long time. It's a dark, heavy episode, and it's just it kind of bummed me out sometimes. I mean, but again, Paul doing the hot donuts thing is hilarious, and all the fun we have, but then you're just so saddled with this, this heaviness on you, and you hold it so well, and then I was like, oh, well, she did it. Like the minute like the girl shows up, knitting, I'm like, oh, well, she's the one behind all this stuff. And I'm like, okay. I feel like we're missing a beat. Plus there was that strange car chase, and they shoot the tires out, and then she runs into a place, and Paul grabs her, doesn't handcuff her, just puts her in the van. There's all sorts of weird little
there's a ton of weird things. Gaslighting. Did you guys catch that? I'd never heard that phrase until 5 years ago. Paul says it in this episode. Did you guys?
Does he?
Yeah. When we're outside the seance room or wherever the psychic guy is, he goes, he's just trying to gaslight you.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
I was like, wow.
but that's from there. There was a movie in the 40s called Gaslight. So
Mhm.
that's
Well, I knew it was based on the old movie in the 40s, but did you? It was a new kind. It became, maybe it was just
Yeah.
me.
no. It didn't really catch on until like 20 years later, right? I mean, like that was kind of a out of the blue thing there. So
It was crazy. And
Yeah,
and then Paul, when Paul got his hand stabbed,
that was funny. Yeah.
it, does he have a band? I know he has a bandage on later in the show. Does he have a bandage on in the next scene? I'm not sure.
Oh, he does. Yeah, you're right. I think he does. I
Yeah.
missed that.
I
Yeah.
I looked at it. It looked like he had taken something off of the table, like that's what he had done. And
Uh,
I don't know if it was scripted or not, but it was well done and it was like a makeshift
yeah.
wrapping.
Yeah, no, it's good.
There was
Oh,
one
yeah.
thing about this episode I never quite understood, and it's the fact that Hobbs and Fox are arresting um, Scarborough, and they are walking him out the door. They see the smoke in the distance, and both of them decide to leave him there and go investigate the house. There's two of you.
Yeah.
Like you were arresting somebody who you had very good reason to suspect was guilty of multiple murders, and you're just like, we'll be right back.
And then you don't come back, dude. Like
You just
they
wait
never come
for it.
back.
It was classic. It was classic.
Well, if you think about it, his daughter did say, like after it's revealed that she started the fire, I figured you would leave him go or whatever. Like it would prove that the it was all happening, and so
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. You're right.
Well,
There were
I have a
things
couple
missing.
questions along these lines. The opening voiceover, I can't even remember what it was, but it's like,
It's you.
I know it's me, but so Darian Fox is a big reader. Like, I guess I should have thought about that. Like, he's very smart. What, Mike?
No. It's either in the beginning of the pilot where like it says your character will pull out one of these books, read the first couple lines, and say, "Got it." And so like you've got all these books, and you'll be like, "Oh, Kierkegaard. Yeah, that's good enough."
Wait a minute. I think that's in the Bible.
It's either in the Bible or it's
That's the kind of stuff that's in the Bible. All
Yeah,
these
yeah.
character notes that are like that.
Well, I want to read that. Oh man.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can get permission to talk about it on here. It would be fun.
If you have that,
Um,
I remember reading that too. It was great. It's
Oh,
fabulous.
I definitely have it. I just want to make.
Who needs it now?
Can I get in? Can I get in trouble here? Really? Like,
No. Well, no, I don't. I mean, who's gonna?
exactly. Like, who gives a fuck, right? Like, fuck it, man.
It would be like buying it on eBay and saying, "Hey, look what I have." But
Exactly. Yeah.
right. Or I could just send it to Mike, and then Mike could just.
I
We'll
say, hey,
figure
I
it out.
found it.
We'll
Yeah,
figure
we'll
it out. But I think that would be fun. Like,
Yeah.
it is a bit of a treasure chest that it might be fun to kind of pick at it a little bit. The other thing there was, the guy that we go investigate that the old guy had told him to kill himself. The guy with the stock.
Oh, yeah,
trade.
the stock dude. Yeah.
Kerry
Yeah.
Scott. He was an actor down in San Diego. I know most of these guys in the show. Kerry Scott, local actor, had a acting school for years. Really funny scene.
Nailed it. Like
Mhm.
that was not an easy. I kept thinking that must have been a hard audition. Like, did those people have to audition, or did we just offer them the part? Do you know, Mike?
No, they auditioned. They auditioned for Sarah. Sarah would bring him in,
Wow.
and that's the guy who you also talked to, the father or the husband. His name David Grant Wright, another good. So I knew all these guys because we'd always be in San Diego auditioning for stuff. I was like, oh, I know that guy. I know that guy. So,
Now, Michael doesn't know who Sarah is. Do you want to enlighten him slightly?
oh, sure, yeah. So if anybody doesn't know this, Sarah became the casting director for San Diego. So this was shot in San Diego. So in order to save money, they would cast the top three guest stars of every episode and travel them down. So that means you have to put them on a train, or they drive down, they put them in a hotel. Everybody else is called a local hire. And so Sarah was the casting director down in San Diego. There's only like 1,000 actors in San Diego, so everybody knows who everybody is. And but she found enough good talent throughout the year, they're like, okay, great, keep going on that stuff. And so a lot of the people you see there are actually San Diego natives.
Wow, that's really cool.
So, but
Great
Carrie was
information.
great. That was a funny scene. I thought that was a really well written scene too.
I
Yeah,
loved it. It was very like who's on first type feel like Tokyo. You
yeah,
been to Tokyo? And I was like,
yeah,
I've been to Tokyo.
Yeah, you ever been to Tokyo?
yeah.
No, it's so funny.
Yeah, guys,
Vinny,
I have to say, go on, Mike. I'm sorry.
no, I have a couple of follow-up weird questions. So you drove that car, that big crazy car.
I did. I drove it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Remember, like you're bringing Scarborough down. It's like, oh my God, there's a fire, and like you guys ran down, you jumped in the car.
Yeah, and I
You remember
drive
that?
over and I drive over to the fire.
Yeah. Was that a hard drive or what? Because that's a big old boat, man.
Oh no, no, no. I love doing that. I
Okay.
love doing that stuff. No, it was fun. Those big cars are fun to drive. Yeah. Yeah, it was huge. Like it was like what kind of car was it? It was like a big
It's like a Chrysler, wasn't it?
yeah.
It was
But who picked that? I mean, it was the year 2000 and we were driving 30-year-old cars or something. Like
I thought that was hilarious. I showed it to Sarah, and we both thought that was the funniest thing. Well, but like the agency always had like shitty cars, right? I
yeah,
mean, you guys had the
yeah,
van, and then uh, like we had a car. Then the second season, there was a shitty car that like Eddie and I got into, and yeah, it was just funny to see you get in that car. It was like
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah. No, it was funny. What else you got, Mike?
the the superfluous use of invisibility section we have here, which is you take the gun, you point it at Hobbs, and then your hand turns invisible, and then your hand turns I'm giving a thumbs up, and then your hand turns visible as you're pointing yourself. It's like why did you need to do that? I don't what like do you remember that?
I think it must have been they hadn't done an invisibility gag anywhere.
It
And
was
we're
so
like,
weird.
hey, man, we gotta stick it somewhere. Yeah.
But
I
it
mean, I
does
guess it
beg
was
the
the idea
question, did you guys have a certain, mandate on how many invisibility scenes had to be used? Was there a budget that needed to be met so that you could reach it? Think of it like when you're running a city, you have a certain budget that needs to be met so you can get that money the next year. Was the show the same way?
If you don't use it, they'll cut it the next year. That's
Yeah.
always the thing. You always try to hit it or go over. Yeah, did they ever talk about it? I mean, there had to be some sort of wow factor where every act break there had to be an invisibility thing, don't you think, Vinny? Or
I mean, no one ever discussed it with me. I the invisibility was always my least favorite part of the show. Um like that's what was so great about Ralph. Like the invisibility was in the story, and so it felt organic. And like Mike pointed out, like we'd be doing these invisibility that kind of felt like gags, and I was like, is that is do we need to do that? I think I'm sure it's hard. I'm sure it's hard to figure out when not to use invisibility. Um,
One
but
scene that always confused me was why did they have you use the invisibility to steal the sign-in journal? Because I feel like if you hadn't used invisibility, you could have played into the fact that you are a former thief.
of course, yeah,
yeah.
and
Oh,
also, oh God, this is coming back from the pilot when I put my hand and I'm making the glasses disappear. I mean, it was very
But that was funny because
sketchy.
you were
Like
making him
what the
cold.
what do you say, Mike?
That was funny because you were making him cold. Remember, you were like freezing him up for everyone to drink the beer.
No,
get
those
cold
were
beer.
those were the beer mugs.
Oh, okay.
he's talking the
But,
actual glasses.
but the glasses,
Oh,
but I never really saw the Quicksilver go all over it, like
yeah.
like it. And then when I steal the sign-in thing at the old guy's place, it felt like you're right. It would have been a perfect thing to be the thief.
And it was funny, even in the script, you're saying to Bobby Hobbs, it happened 2 seconds ago. You didn't see that? It was good. And Michael's right. If it would have been done without the invisibility, I think it would have worked even better better than
Well,
it did.
sleight of hand.
No, you're right. That would have been better. But I will say this: I, I was kind of nitpicking the episode today a little bit, and God, Paul, I remember him, like having to do some really difficult things, like that just seemed like hard lines to how do you believe it, and Paul's commitment, like all of our commitment to stuff that sometimes was a little bit ridiculous. The actor just took it and grounded it and committed to it, and it kept me as a viewer on track. I can't think of the specific things, but Ben Victor did that a couple times in this episode where I think I would have been like, "This is crazy. Why do I have to say this?" And he did it. Ironically, I think Paul actually was. This is true. I don't think Paul cares. I mean, Paul and the executive producer were having a little bit of tension because Paul would improvise a lot, and I loved it, and I think we all loved it. Did you improvise much, you and Eddie, Mike?
It started to grow. Like what once you guys, I mean, again, this was almost the starting line because once Matt left, you like because Paul started like going for a little bit and you started following, but once there was no oversight and there was the scripts were coming down and you guys would get the scripts, what's funny? What can we say? And there was always the one you guys were talking about making the the ice cream sundae, with the whip and you guys would fill so much better than a lot of the lines, So I think, by the time the second season happened, I think we were all kind of having a little bit of, fun, but this was kind of the start. I stayed on my lines as hard as I could for the first, because you had tons of lines. I had like 5. And I was like, I am going to make sure that I'm not going to be a problem here to anybody. I'm going to get all of them down. I'm going to know everybody's lines,
Yeah.
but
No, this was the beginning of right. This was the starting line. Like
Yep.
Ed Letty used to say, I think I said this before, the inmates are running the asylum. This was but they did bring in David Levinson to kind of try to ground things. And Paul was here and David was here and they butted heads a little bit.
Well, no matter how much they butted heads, it was still everything was, I think, turned out great.
Well, I don't know if this is true or not. I'm working with a producer now. I don't know if this is true, but a lot of people believe that conflict breeds creativity. Maybe a little bit. I mean,
it depends on who they are. I mean, it depends on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I shy away from that kind of stuff. If someone's being a hard ass or something, it's like, hey man, you go run the store. It's like, but when it's collaborative, because I come from more of an improv, vibe. So if we're all just having fun, but if someone, I mean, I would say that once David came in and started writing the ship towards the second half of the first season, the episodes really started to cook. Really like, because I'm looking at some of these coming up, I'm like, I can't tell you what the difference of some of these are. They're all kind of there's a similar, and I don't mean that from a negative standpoint, but when I think about Invisible Man, I think about all the fun we had and all the goofy, weird stories that started to pop up later on. And we're still kind of figuring out what the show is. And we had little, pops here and there in this episode. I remember in the bulletin boards, everyone was talking about hot donuts. I don't know if you remember that, Ed. Everyone's like, "Oh, hot donuts! Who wants hot donuts?" And that's the first time I remember on the bulletin boards, people were popping. They're like, "Oh, that was funny. That was weird."
Oh, you mean on the fan bulletin board?
Oh yeah,
on the Sci-Fi Channel bulletin board. Yeah, remember that? I remember because I was always on the boards, and that's why I said that. Oh, this episode, Shannon got voted off, so I hope she's okay with that. But it was it's just a weird popularity contest. But that was a vibrant community. It was always fun to check that out. So it was before your time, Michael. I'm sorry to say. So
you were 10.
I was 10, and I probably had found my way to them at some point. I was pretty tech savvy.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, apologies. Yeah, you're probably actually more tech savvy than all of us. You're probably like, these guys know what they're doing. So
Exactly.
Well, guys, I got to tell you, this was a good one, and we should probably end it. We're hit an hour and a half here. It's going to turn into we hit pilot
Yeah.
Michael, thank you so much for coming, man. It's so great to meet you.
Thank you very much. It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. I don't really know what else to say.
Man.
This has been 26 years. Been wanting to do something like this, and here we are.
Okay,
Thank
well,
you.
so will we know how to get to? I want to make sure you know about the next thing when we start showing it to people. Do we? Ed, do you know how to contact Michael?
I do.
Okay, awesome, man.
Yeah, it was great, Michael. So great. Thanks for keeping the flame lit, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. I am very much looking forward to the next podcast. Very much looking forward to future episodes. I gotta admit, the one episode that I'm looking forward to the most, it's gonna be a mix between going postal and the importance of being Eberts.
Michael,
Those
I
are
wanted to ask you,
absolutely
do you want to
fantastic.
tell everybody about your Reddit? You did start a Reddit
Oh,
thread.
yeah, I did. So I am on Reddit from time to time, and I looked to see if I could find the Invisible Man. Couldn't find it anywhere, so I did make a subreddit for the Invisible Man. And every time a new episode of this podcast comes out, the first thing I do is link it to the Reddit.
Oh,
And I'm
that's
trying
awesome.
to find ways to share it in other areas, and trying to widen the audience as much as possible.
I appreciate it. And
That's
yeah, we'll
fantastic.
make sure everybody has the link to your Reddit, subreddit, and put it on the screen.
Well,
Oh,
thank
that's
you.
great. Let me see.
Thank you, man. Awesome.
And I did just find it. It is called The Invisible Man. There was not another subreddit with that name, so I managed to snag it.
Oh, great. Okay.
Wow,
I appreciate it.
that seems easy to find.
I found it, but let's see. There's a Universal Monsters picture here.
You know what's funny? I've never seen the movie. I've seen the original H.G. Wells, maybe with Gloria Stewart, which we'll get to that later.
Hey,
But-
dudes, I gotta roll. My wife's waiting for me to watch an episode of The Bear.
Oh, no, go for it.
All right, man. Great to meet
Talk
you,
to you later.
Michael. I'll see you dudes later. Bye-bye.
All right,
Peace.
thanks. Thank you, agents.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us this week for another episode of the Invisible Man Rewatch podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, tell everybody you know, and once again, thank you, Michael, for coming on and talking with us for this episode. And remember, if you yourself would like to join the show, come on and discuss your favorite episodes, or even send in messages or comments or questions that you have about particular episodes. Be sure to do that right down here. You'll see the links below as well on screen where to do that. Send in those questions, be a part of the show, join the agency, and let's do this together, because we can't beat Chrysalis without you.